and whether or not you need that as a reflective symbol or not. Could be something else.
Okay.
Again, all these things are not definitive. They are simply suggestions, offerings, perspectives, permission slips. If you find you resonate with the idea that's been suggested, then by all means shift in the direction of the reality where you can experience that, because you're saying that's the permission slip, that's the reflection you believe will assist you the best in raising your vibration with the mass consensus in the way that you prefer to. But if hearing a suggestion like that, you find that you don't quite resonate with it, then understand you'll shift in a different direction, and some other synchronistic thing may be representative of the permission slip that you require to allow yourself to raise your vibration. Yeah?
Okay.
So it doesn't really matter what it is, but when you hear things like that, it gives you an opportunity to decide whether that would work for you or not. It's that simple. Everyone is always offered different ideas for how to experience their reality. You are the ultimate arbiter of what you believe will work best for you. So when you hear a notion like that, simply sample it. Like a fine wine. Well, you know, not quite what I'm looking for. How about this vintage? Oh, well, glug, 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 glug. A little more palatable, but not quite what I'm looking for. Oh, how about this one? Glug, 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 glug. Ah, that hits the spot. It's up to you. It really is. Physical reality is your creation. There is no physical reality apart from your definition of it. So when other people offer you their perspectives about what might be a permission slip that works for them, you get to decide whether or not you want to agree with that and co-create that in your reality, or whether you would like to go down another path. Doesn't matter, because you will attract what you need, and they will attract what they need as a representation. And remember that when we say permission slip, it simply means that you're the one raising your vibration and shifting to a consensus reality where more people already exist that are on a higher vibratory level. You never change the world you're in. You shift to a world that's already reflective of the change you've made within yourself. Make sense?
Yes, I can work with that.
All right. Does this add or provide some clarity for you?
It does.
And yet?
I guess I'm just still wrestling with the concept of how I can shift to one particular reality.
But you are already shifting. You shift billions of times a second. That's how you create the side effect you call time and space and change and discovery. If you weren't shifting through parallel realities billions of times a second, you would have absolutely no experience of change whatsoever. Everything would be a frozen snapshot like this. Or perhaps like this. Or maybe like this. But you have to, like frames on a film strip, actually project your consciousness like the light of the projector through a multitude of frames per second in order to actually experience the illusion of any particular time stream. But you're shifting actually all over the map. You're actually jumping from film strip to film strip to film strip to film strip, frame to frame to frame to frame, billions of times per second. All you need to do to guide yourself in the direction that works best for you is the simple formula. Act to the best of your ability on your highest excitement in whatever form it comes in every moment that you can out of all the options available to you. Act on the most exciting one. Take it as far as you can until you can take it no further. And continue to do that every moment with absolutely zero insistence, assumption, or expectation as to what the outcome of that action ought to be. If you just stick to that formula, you will automatically, unerringly guide yourself through the sequence of parallel realities that represents the reflection that is best for you. That's it. That's the formula. That's how it works. That's the physics. That's it. If you want to make it more complicated, you can. We won't stop you. But the idea is, it is that simple. Does this help?
It does.
Anything else?
Nope.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, Bashar.
And you good day.
It's a pleasure to visit with you again.
And you as well.
My question concerns, since I was very little, I have always had rather vivid associations that result from emotional reactions that result from very specific combinations of colors,
No,
very specific wavelengths occurring either within a painting or naturally occurring in the environment. And these seem to be unrelated to anything that I could put my finger on and say is an association, that might trigger that, an association from that particular time.
Well, no. The idea is that many of you are simply increasing your perceptual sensitivity to different kinds of vibrations and interpreting and filtering them through you in different ways now. So you are expanding your ability to sense things in a different way. You're actually starting to be able to communicate with color itself, with the vibration of those things. And the combinations are a language unto itself that you're beginning to understand. Because that's what happens. It's one of the symptoms of the expansion of consciousness, is that you become more perceptive of different levels of vibrational information that are all around you all the time, but which many of you have never seen because you have let them be invisible to you because your senses were not sensitive enough. But now the senses are becoming more sensitive to all the different wavelengths and frequencies of information going on around you from different dimensions and different ways and different expressions of different forms of consciousness all the time. Yes?
Yes. And as this has been going on since I was a child, and there seems to be a connection between some of these very vivid emotional reactions.
Well, of course.
I was wondering, I had heard from Seth that faster than light phenomena sometimes impinge on this sensorial, this third dimension, or third density.
Yes, because as you expand your senses, you're going beyond the physical domain. So, of course, when you go beyond the physical domain, you'll be able to perceive things that are operating at much higher frequencies than the concept you call the speed of light.
Right.
Okay?
Right. And these associations across time seem to be, they're very specific, and
Yes.
I'll find myself, many years after originally having experienced this combination of colors to begin with,
Yes.
re-experiencing it
Yes.
with the same intensity of emotion.
Well, some people use the synchronicity of numbers. You're using the synchronicity markers of color and those vibrations to let you know when you are on the vibrational path that is perfect for you.
I see. Okay. Thank you.
It's a different language, that's all.
Uh-huh.
Makes sense?
It does, yeah.
Does this help you?
It does. May I ask you one other question?
Well, that was a question.
Something of a more generalized...
Yes, but you don't have to ask if you can ask.
Okay.
Otherwise, you've already asked the question.
Got it. Okay, thanks. You've spoken in the past about the idea that out of,
I never speak in the past. I always speak in the present.
I've heard in the past.
I understand what you mean. I'm just having some fun with you.
I know. Let's see. The idea that new economic paradigm will be inextricably intertwined in a way with the emergence of what we think of as free energy or free energy from the vacuum.
That version of Earth, in fact, a multitude of versions of Earth like that already exist.
Yes. What I was wondering is, sort of extrapolating further and considering probable Earth futures, how does this relate to the photosynthetic capacity of the Earth and the actual carrying capacity of the Earth, if in fact all boats are able to rise equally and freely, in
the way that we interpret what you are asking, there are actually versions of Earth that derive their power from absolutely nothing but the plants on the planet. You understand? They actually have found ways to convert the concept of photosynthesis from the different trees and flowers and plants and things like that in ways they can actually, shall we say, funnel through or allow the energy of the photosynthesis to channel through the plants into a variety of devices wirelessly.
I see. But as far as stuff to eat, I mean, assuming even we have, the capability of desalinating water in great quantities at not a great expense, and the capacity to grow without, the amount of petrochemical inputs that we have now.
Of course you do. You already know that you have that capacity. It's simply a matter of whether or not you choose to express that in your reality, and thus shift to a reality that already expresses it. Okay?
But it would appear that the capacity, the photosynthetic capacity of everything that is growing on the planet would not sustain the number of bodies on the planet.
Well, you may shift to a version of Earth that doesn't have as many bodies on it. And or you will find that the capacity of the vibrational state that the bodies have reached will actually amplify even a small amount of energy to be adequate. In some senses, this is what we do, because we no longer eat, we no longer sleep. We are deriving our sustenance directly from the energy of our planet and the energy of the cosmos. But because we operate on a certain frequency level, we don't actually need very much, because our own energy, our own vibrational state amplifies and magnifies what we get. Because isn't that the idea of what you call free energy? That you perceive what you call to be over unity? You get more energy out than you put in? Yes?
Interesting, yeah. No,
so the idea is that it doesn't take very much energy in to actually experience a lot of energy out when you are vibrating at a rate that is a particular multiple of the energy coming in. You will amplify it in such a way that there will be more energy out, because you're tapping into a multiple level, dimensional kind of amplifier. So whatever energy you're drawing on from one dimension will actually be augmented and magnified by the vibrational energy of a multitude of dimensions, and you will have more at your disposal, and the energy that you're drawing upon in your reality is actually being used as nothing more than a kickstart.
That makes sense, yeah.
Okay. Does that help?
It does, yeah.
Anything else?
May I ask one quick question about...
Didn't we already establish that you don't have to ask if you can ask?
Well,
trust us. If we are telling you that there is no purpose or it's not appropriate to ask something, we'll let you know.
Okay.
So you don't have to spend time asking if you can ask.
Okay. Thank you.
Yes.
In thinking about energy and technology, I sometimes wonder if our discomfort with the idea of directed energy weapons and the secrecy surrounding that has a relationship to the destruction of Atlantis,
of course,
and whether that's racially imprinted.
Of course it does. But the idea is that cross-connection is being made from the present.
Yeah.
Yes?
I see.
So the idea is that there is a lot of expression of cross-connection to Atlantean times, so that you can decide in the exploration of the theme you're doing here to perhaps learn to do it differently.
Got it. That makes sense. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.